The movie opens on a highway. A retired army captain, Brandt, his wife and 2 daughters, are moving to another state for his new job as head of security for a research lab. Brandt is worried, but his wife reassures him that everything will be okay. She then tells him that she thinks God is going to do something great through him when a semi crashes into them. Brandt lays on the ground, having flashbacks of his happy family when he looks up to see the flipped car. Before the car explodes, a few construction workers pull him away to safety. At an examination center, we meet a young genius named Ram, who is sitting an entrance exam to be selected as part of a research team. He bumps into a girl on his way to handing in his paper and apologizes for being hyper-focused. The two talk about the test, which Ram is sure that he aced, but the girl is doubtful. She introduces herself as Amy and invites him out to dinner, but ends up telling him that he will be paying. Women. Later, the two are at Ram's home ready to head out, but Ram suggests that they stay in for dinner, having prepared a meal. At one point, Ram goes in for a kiss when Amy tries to bless the food. The two end up having a great time, with Amy helping him with his posture, swag and a few dance moves. Ram then gets the chance to kiss Amy for real this time. We then catch up with Brandt, who is depressed and drowning his sorrows in alcohol. He picks up his gun but throws it away, saying that he is not a coward. He then blames God for taking his family away from him and burns his army medals. He again tells God that he is not his guy anymore. 3 months later, Ram and Amy, along with 2 other geniuses, Felix and Simon, have been accepted into the Institute of Matter Transfer Sciences, to compete for a place on the team to create a matter transfer machine. The 3 gloat over a plaque before Ram orders them back to work. Simon then places a chair on the platform and Amy begins to pray, however Ram tells her that that does not help. Ram starts up the machine, electricity cackles before the chair explodes, destroying the lab. Later, the team is gathered by the security to meet with the CEO named Ahmed. They are worried that they are in big trouble when Ahmed walks in smiling. Ram begins to take the blame, but Ahmed shows them a video of the experiment. Ram sees that the chair actually moved for a short while. Ahmed commends them on their success and promotes them to his top research team. The 4 are taken to the main lab with advanced equipment, where Ahmed offers them a $10 million bonus for completing the project. Ahmed then gives the team the night off. We then see Ahmed meeting with Brandt, who is now the head of security for the institute. Ahmed gives his condolences to his family before they are joined by another man, Sabir. Ahmed wants Brandt to take more time off, but Brandt tells him the more time he spends alone, the more he hates God for what happened. Ahmed then tells him that he lost his parents too, and we see a flashback of Ahmed's parents being killed by extremists for becoming Christians. Ahmed was then taken by the extremists. Ram and Amy are working, with Ram telling her that he feels stressed. Amy then invites him out of view of the cameras, and the security guys act like they don't know what adults do out of sight and want to get audio inside the room. Amy and Ram are making out when Ram hears a beeping sound. He checks it out and realizes that someone has opened a secure line to the outside. He taps into the feed to see terrorist Rashad Amir speaking with Ahmed. Ahmed tells him that the matter transfer will be completed soon and they will be able to strike any location instantly. Amy wants to tell the FBI, but Ram tells her that they must wait until they can get off campus or they will be captured. Later, the 4 are attempting to transfer a ball, however it explodes. Ram then figures out the situation, then sends the team out for an early lunch. Amy tells him that he cannot complete the project, but Ram tells her that he will not get caught. Ram then successfully transfers a rubber and somehow figures out time travel and tries to hide it, but the security spot him on the cameras and figure that he is hiding something. Ram then hurriedly tries to delete all the files before security comes in with guns drawn and find the rubber in his pocket. Ram is then taken before Ahmed, who is surprised as I am at how Ram has created time travel and relishes in the possibilities. Ahmed figures out that Ram has been spying on his conversations with Rashad. Ahmed tells him that he wants to kill the people who killed his parents, but Ram warns Ahmed about changing anything in the past and refuses to work for him any longer. Ahmed is pissed. He then has his men take Ram away as he updates Rashad. The guards then take Ram away, tase him and leave him tied up. Ahmed then tries to get his team to retrieve the files, however they are unable to. He then calls Brandt in and tells him to get the information out of Ram by any means necessary. Simon, Felix and Amy are then met by Ahmed, who lies to them that Ram was successful and he is now working in top secret. However, they are unable to work with him or see him, and order that they turn their phones in. Ahmed goes back to Ram, who is still not talking. Ahmed then brings in Ram's parents and tells him to talk or else. Brandt tells Ahmed that he did not sign up for this and the two talk outside. Brandt learns that Ram has created a time machine and asks for more time, but Ahmed tells him to go. Inside, Ahmed gives Ram 7 seconds to talk, but when he does not, Ahmed has his father killed. Ram still does not talk and loses his mother as well. Ahmed tells him to work with him so he can bring them back. In the hallway, Brandt sits in deep thought. He tells God that this is all happening because of him and that he needs proof from God. Ahmed then threatens Amy with torture and somehow this breaks Ram and he finally gives in. Ahmed then gives Ram 3 days to get the machine working in order to transfer humans successfully. 3 days later, Ram has completed the machine. Ahmed orders him to start it up, then orders the only black guard to step into the machine. Ram then gives him a bracelet that makes the transfer successful. The guard steps in and is successfully transferred to the next platform, and Ahmed is pleased. Ram then starts the machine and tries to jump inside, but Ahmed grabs him and orders his guards to take him away. Ahmed then tells Brandt that if he is still mad at God for his family, then he can now get revenge, and orders him to ready a team. Ahmed then speaks with his close extremists. Sabir warns that they cannot kill Jesus, but Ahmed tells them that they will stop the resurrection myth, which will stop Christianity. Simon, Amy and Felix then head into the security room, and begin to look for Ram on the cameras. They see the combat team leaving on the transfer pad, then they see Ram in a warehouse. The three find Ram, who tells them about the time machine and what Ahmed has planned. We are taken back to 33 AD and we see Jesus praying in the garden when there is a flash of blue light. Brandt and his team materialize and they see the disciples sleeping. Brandt then sees the betrayal before he and his team engage them, killing everyone. He then goes over to Jesus and tells him that this is his fault before ending him. Brandt and his team then transfer back to the lab where the four geniuses see them on the cameras and also the body. After the team has left, the four break into the room and lock the door. They then talk some mambo-jumbo time travel stuff before the security team come banging on the door. The four then transfer to the previous coordinates before the security team come in. The four arrive in 33 AD and see when the guards arrive and hide. They then see Jesus's betrayal and Brandt and his team attacking, killing everyone. They then decide to go back to their time and he and Amy leave first in case the guards are waiting. They materialize inside the lab and push past a guard, then lock themselves inside another lab. They realize that they actually came back before they left. Amy realizes that at this time she was watching the cameras and begins to sign to herself, telling herself that Ahmed killed Jesus and to save Ram. Before Amy and Ram then transfer, the guards come in and shoot them dead. The present Amy then saves Ram and along with Simon and Felix, and they run to the transfer room chasing out the scientists. Ram gives them the handbands and they all run onto the pad. Back in 33 AD, Simon and Felix are worried that Ram and Amy have not returned and plan to go back. They start the transfer, but Simon's band short circuits and he is stuck. Felix alone is sent back and Ahmed holds him and wants to know how he got there. They take him away before time begins to warp around them. Felix explains that Ahmed and his men killed Jesus. The timeline warps and they are taken to a garden and Ahmed is happy that there are no Christians. But time warps again and they see the earth destroyed and no humans left. Ram and his team then arrive in 33 AD. Knowing that Brandt and his men are coming, they lay wait for them and use sticks to stick into them as they materialize. Gunshots go off and Simon and Felix are killed, with Amy suffering a gunshot wound. Brandt and Sabir falls off a cliff and Amy tells Ram to not let them get to Jesus. Ram then takes off his shirt and his pants to stop Amy's bleeding and grabs Simon's coat. He leaves to find help but sees Sabir and gives chase. They run through the disciples and Peter is ready for the smoke, but Sabir runs off dropping his gun. Simon is now alone. He uses a stick to fidget with the band and is transferred to another place. He lands before Jesus in the garden, who instantly learns English to speak with Simon. Simon tells him that men are after him. He even tells him what happens to him nevertheless. Simon tells him that he saw his movie on bootleg but apologizes. Simon explains that in the future though, Christianity has flourished and millions believe in him, and Jesus is happy and accepts his fate. Simon tells him not to go, but Jesus thanks him for helping him tomorrow. Ram is chasing Sabir when he sees Jesus being taken away by the soldiers. He follows them and sees a soldier bring in the gun that he left behind and grabs it from his hand before running off. He then runs into Peter, who is again ready for the smoke, but Ram calms him down and Peter gives him his coat before leaving. Brandt then wakes up and calls for anyone on his radio and Sabir answers and they plan to meet up. Ram returns to Amy and the two try to head back to their time but realize that the wristbands have been deactivated by Ahmed. Sabir and Brandt meet up and put on clothing to blend in with the locals. Sabir wants to leave but Brandt wants to finish the mission. Brandt tells Sabir to leave his gun but he hides it in his clothing. While walking, Sabir picks up a tomato and the vendor orders that he pays, which attracts the attention of the soldiers. Sabir then pulls his gun and shoots one of the soldiers and the two get captured. One soldier somehow picks up the gun and puts the band around it curiously and the gun disappears. The next day is the crucifixion. Jesus is carrying his cross but he stumbles and falls. Simon is looking on and a guard orders that he help Jesus with the cross. Simon picks up Jesus and puts the cross on his shoulder and the two walk through the jeering crowd. Later, people lay weeping at the cross. Ram brings Amy and asks for a healer and two women lead him to the feet of Jesus. He begs Jesus to save Amy and realizes that Sabir and Brandt are the thieves next to Jesus. Brandt is remorseful. He begs for forgiveness while Sabir is angry. Brandt begs Jesus to save Amy, but Jesus tells him that he must forgive Brandt for Amy to be saved, but he refuses and leaves. Ram then brings Amy to a spot where he sees the Simon who was stuck from the beginning. They are confused as Ram saw Simon die. The two then see a solar eclipse and argue about whether Jesus is real or not, and are worried about being stuck in the past. Back in the present, Ahmed sees the gun and the band. He tells his scientist to reactivate the bands, but she tells him that the other bands are fried. Ahmed then puts on the last working band and decides that he will go and complete the mission himself to stop the resurrection. Ahmed then materializes inside the tomb with a gun. He checks and sees that Jesus is dead and plans to ambush the people who came for his body. Later, Ram and Simon talk about him forgiving Brant and saving Amy, which he cannot bring himself to do. Amy then wakes up and weakly asks Ram to take her to the tomb of Jesus, since it has been 3 days since he died. They take her to the tomb where they see the guards outside. They begin to feel electricity in the air and the earth begins to shake. Inside, Ahmed teleports out of the tomb before the door bursts open. Ram and Simon run to check it out and see Jesus' body missing, and see glow sticks and figure that Ahmed was there and stole the body. Outside, Jesus walks over to Amy and holds her hand before she passes away. Inside the tomb, 2 women come inside to look for Jesus but end up seeing Simon and Ram. Ram tells the women that Jesus is not here and the women leave thinking of them as angels. The 2 go outside and see Amy has died and Ram breaks down crying, before the 2 women bring the band that dropped from Brant. Ram is surprised at the odds of them getting the time retriever. Ram puts on the band and tells Simon that they will attempt to transfer together. The 2 then transfer back. Simon had a gun and uses it to shoot the only guard before getting shot himself. Ram then decides to go back in time to save his mother and father, and stop all of this from happening, which they should have done from the beginning. Ram then transfers before the guards come in, but 2 guards end up following him through the time pad. They hold him at gunpoint but end up exploding because they are not wearing any bands. Ram then turns up to the warehouse and save his parents before chasing after Ahmed. Ahmed calls Brant to his office to stop Ram. Ram breaks into the office but Ahmed is nowhere to be found. Brant comes running in. Ram holds him at gunpoint and tells him that he killed his parents and Amy, but Brant does not know what he is talking about. Brant then breaks down telling Ram to do it, since he already lost his family. Ram refuses to shoot him and tells him that he forgives him. Ram's mom and dad then come in, along with Sabir, who is holding Amy hostage. Ram then holds Brant hostage but Ahmed appears and shoots Ram in the back. Ahmed tells him that he wants the code and shoots Ram's father. He is about to finish the job when Brant shoots all his guards but ends up getting shot by Ahmed. Ram then grabs a knife from the table and stabs Ahmed in the back before killing him. Amy then runs to Ram, who is dying. Just then their version of Ram comes running in and the Ram in Amy's arms disappears. 3 months later, Ram and the team are heading out on a mission. Ram puts on a crossing guard's uniform. We go back to the starting scene of the film with Brant driving with his wife. Just before the truck crashes into them, Ram appears before them and they stop in time. Brant and his family gets out of the car and see a note left for Brant, telling him to contact Homeland Security and the FBI. The family then stand there grateful to be alive, thinking they were saved by an angel. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you can watch more movies like this. Thanks for watching.